Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by ghostbed.com.
Yes. Welcome to Drinking Bros Fake News, where we're giving you the realest, fakest news of the week as only we can. I am currently in Austin, Tejas. D'Anthony is in Wilmington, North Carolina. And then, oddly enough, we'll be doing live shows from Los Angeles next week, which is the home of CNN now, Dan.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're selling the building in Atlanta, so I think they're going to have to go out of that LA building.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just a matter of time for that bitch gets burned down anyways, right?
Here's the thing. If Trump wins, I think they'll last another 4 years and they'll be fine. If he doesn't, they will have nothing to report on for the next 4 years, and I think they go under. And I'm being completely dead honest when I say this. If Biden's in there, he's going to be so hidden away. What are you going to cover every day? What's your news coverage?
Well, I don't know. It seems like all of our elected officials are pedophiles, so probably cover that.
That'd be way too easy, Dan. They'll never do that because they own CNN. I want to start off, Dan, with a breaking news story here that's we didn't have a chance to chat about, but the numbers just came in. That weird cousin of Trump, Mary.
Yeah.
She wrote a book about Donald Trump, and it might be like, I'm sorry, it's a niece. It's his niece. Came out of the woodwork, wrote a book about why he's maniacal and wants power and everything else. Like, who hasn't written a book about Trump these days? Everybody's trying to cash in off of this guy. The numbers of this book certainly are not going to help for him going forward in the future. A record. This is a record, a 1 week record for a memoir beating Michelle Obama. 950,000 copies were sold in 1 week. They are already on their 14th print. For those at home, this is Simon & Schuster, by the way, which is a huge company. My first book was with them. I know how all of this operates behind the scenes there financially. You get about $7 per hardback, and around the same for paperback and an ebook. Ebook is just a downloadable file. Truthfully, you should make more than $7 because it's just a fucking PDF. But I digress on that. If these numbers are accurate, in which I have no reason to believe they're not, seeing as how they put out a press release right now, that means this book made about $7 million opening week. And this is a niece that has been estranged from Donald Trump for years and years and years at this point. I mean,
they would have done better to find some fucking low-level employee from 30 years ago to write a book. Like,
no, they wouldn't have. Look at the numbers, Dan.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's how I'm with regard to context and accuracy, because there's no way this woman knows all the stuff she's purporting to know. After years, like she just wrote a book about shit she heard from other family members who were jealous of Donald Trump, essentially. I mean, it's so fucking. The whole thing is so fucking stupid. But anybody could have written a book that's negative towards Trump. Like, imagine if Obama's shitbag, weirdo, fucking criminal brother had written a book about how Obama was a fucking loser or something. No one would have bought that shit because Republicans don't read books, brother. It's just the way it is.
Ours do. God damn it, ours do.
Well,
you guys have been very kind to all of our books, mine and Matt's, and we're super grateful.
They only read
at least ours do.
Books. Yeah,
True. But we're super grateful. But look, Dan, I'm looking at the numbers of this, and we chatted about this on Fake News a couple weeks ago with John Bolton's numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say both of those books now have probably made or are going to make. They're on pace to make somewhere in the $12 to $15 million range a piece. If I am anywhere near Trump at this point, or have ever been associated with him or known him in my past, I am fucking calling up every publisher I can trying to get a book deal, because this is a lot of money. My God, man. I did not think this book would sell 30 fucking copies, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it just shows the appetite for whatever you want to call it. Like, just any kind of even casual or ancillary information about this guy that might make him look bad, there's a market for it. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me that people are willing to read this. Like, I have no desire to read about anyone's niece's accounts of who that person used to be.
I know, right?
I mean, we're starting to get into Jimi Hendrix territory here. Like, I did a film back in 2009 where I was trying to get some rights for a Jimi Hendrix footage, right? I think it was like 8 seconds of footage I was trying to get. So we reached out to the Hendrix family, and it goes through this woman named Jane. Turns out Jane is Jimi Hendrix's stepsister. He only met her once backstage at a concert when she was 8 years old. She controls the entire catalog and licensing rights, images included, for everything Jimi Hendrix does. And it's the craziest shit in the world to me. And I'm like, what the fuck? This reminds me of this. I've never heard of Mary, whatever her last name is.
Mary Todd.
Yeah.
Trump.
It'd be great if it was Mary Todd Trump. But I've never heard of this person. I don't know who's buying these books. And I don't know if you're a Democrat and you're just reading this to find out like terrible shit about Trump, I guess, why you would want to do that in your spare time. Because reading a book is in your spare time.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have time to read books. My hands are usually full of something. Guns, my own dick, drugs. It's one of those three things typically. I don't have time to read. Like audiobooks, sure, but I don't want to hear some fucking old Karen talk about the president for 7 hours, dude. I just can't. There's no way.
Me neither.
Maybe if you had like Mike Tyson, that's what I think we should do, is have sign Mike Tyson to an Audible contract where he reads all the audiobooks. Like, you can't publish an audiobook unless it's Mike Tyson reading it.
I'd like to hear him read a children's book.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great. I think that'd be great. But yeah, that's breaking news. And man, my God, man, that is a massive, massive amount of books. I'm shocked by it, to be honest. That beat Michelle Obama's, for Christ's sakes. So
is that a hate crime?
In the book world, it is. I can tell you that. Penguin did Michelle Obama's. Speaking of which, there's more breaking news on Michelle Obama right now. I just got an email from Spotify right now that Michelle Obama has launched a new podcast exclusive to Spotify. Huh. You don't say. I guess everybody's getting into podcasting these days, including Michelle Obama's now got a podcast.
I mean, Oprah's gone, so somebody's got to be Oprah, right?
I guess I would have said
it's not going to be Wendy goddamn Williams, for Christ's sake.
No, but it seems like Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh God, no! People hate her.
No, the ratings on her show are mega. The ratings, that red table destroys.
Yeah. The ratings are good, but people hate her. Like no one's gonna listen to life advice from someone who calls fucking 20-year-old dudes an entanglement. No one's gonna like. Come on, man. There's a level of cognitive dissonance involved in that whole situation. By the way, Will Smith has been banging fucking shit. They're swingers. He's been banging women for fucking 30 years. I don't know why everybody's so like. The memes are funny. It's like the sad Jordan face, because really he was crying tears of joy. That meme that they made. But the fucking sad look on Will Smith's face that people think is hurt. What I'm guessing he was thinking about was how he had been fucking Margot Robbie for the last 7 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's probably what was rolling through his head. Honestly.
Yeah, because the rumor is, and you can Google this picture, just Google Will Smith and Margot Robbie drunk pics, and you can find their shenanigans behind the scenes, their shenanigans. And then, he was sticking Eva Mendes as well. When I saw that interview, I was like, Will Smith won. I didn't even want to hear this fucking bullshit. It is what it is. Next up, Charlamagne Tha God. God, I hate this fucking guy. Yeah, I've never understood the appeal for this guy. If you don't know who this is, he is a very popular radio host for a show called The Breakfast Club out of New York City. The Breakfast Club in that station, I think it's Power 98 or Hot 97. No, it's Hot 97. I forget. Anyways, out of New York, this was the biggest radio station there was post Howard Stern, obviously. And they do this morning show called The Breakfast Club. They've converted it into a podcast. They found this guy who just talks shit on YouTube named Charlamagne Tha God. And they put him on the show. He's now become famous for getting into with Joe Biden. That interview of if you're voting for Trump, you ain't black. That was on the Breakfast Club. That was Charlamagne Tha God, to refresh your memory. He's also gotten into it with Post Malone. The guy's just a fucking cocksucker, to be honest with you. And he's the only, well, there's been a couple more that have stuck up for Nick Cannon's anti-Semitic rants from a couple days ago.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade did it on accident, apparently. Then he had to apologize.
Well, Dwayne Wade should be playing basketball. This is what happens when you when you don't have a job anymore and you're like, maybe I'll become an internet personality. Whoopsie, Dwayne Wade.
It also is what happens when you're completely unqualified to speak in public on anything other than what you do professionally. And then you start speaking in public about things other than what you do professionally. Clearly, Dwayne Wade doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But all he did was like retweet and say, hey, keep your head up, essentially. But I don't know how you can fucking... there's no way that he actually read any of the stuff that Nick Cannon said, because he said some pretty fucked up shit. Like if you guys haven't been paying attention to what Nick Cannon was saying, it was not great. I mean, what did he say?
Not great is an understatement.
Yeah.
So he said he supported he basically supported all the old conspiracy theories about how Jews control the world, the media, the banks, and how there's not enough melanin in white people's skin to give them any soul, and that's why they're the devils, and that's why white people are sucking the life out of everything.
Something about the absence of melanin in your skin causes you to be intrinsically violent. That was his proposition. In addition to that, he said that Jews aren't real Jews, that blacks are the real Jews or something.
Blacks are the real Hebrews. Yeah, Hebrews is what he said.
I mean, Jews and Hebrews are the same goddamn fucking thing, Mr. Cannon, you fucking retard. But I don't know what he's saying there. I don't know. He said that people with lighter skin have a melanin deficiency, which forces them to become savages and violent. Obviously, he's been fired by Viacom CBS, although he kept some of his other jobs.
He did. So the Masked Singer on Fox, which I'm really surprised by, because obviously Clayton Crawford's been on the show. He was fired by Fox pretty quickly for way, way less than this. He was able to keep his job as the host of the Masked Singer, which I don't know how. But I guess Black Lives Matter on Fox.
Anyways, a lot of, like you said, a couple of celebrities have actually come out in support of Nick Cannon. I don't think Ice Cube has said anything specifically, but if you remember about a month ago, he was on all that Louis Farrakhan bullshit, which he's been on for years. Like Ice Cube is one of the most famous anti-Semites in America, and he has been since the 1980s. Like I don't know why people haven't fucking constantly hammered this piece of shit for it. But he hasn't said anything specifically, but P. Diddy offered Nick Cannon a job. Like, oh, you can fucking come work for me. I don't care about Jews. And Charlamagne Tha God actually stood up for him, like seriously. And he said his claim was, Charlamagne Tha God's claim was, by the way, he's also on The Brilliant Idiots with Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is one of the best comedians working today, but I think he needs to take a look at who he's fucking hanging out with, because this guy's a cunt too. Charlamagne Tha God said that Nick Cannon being fired by Viacom CBS is just proof that the Jews run everything. Like, nah, dude, he said racist shit about white people and Jews, and he got fired for it. That's what happened. You stupid cunt. I mean,
the weird thing about it is I believe Andrew Schultz is Jewish, so that should be a fun convo. The next time the two of them get together.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Andrew Schultz really has any sack, because if he does, I mean, that show's doing well, so the easy thing to do is just to fucking make a joke out of it and keep moving on. And the tough thing to do would be to ignore your wallet a little bit and do what's right. And I don't think he will, to be honest.
No, I don't either. And, that comment that he made, that's, this proves the Jews run everything regarding Hollywood, that also couldn't be further from the truth. With everything that we've seen over the course of the last 3 years with Me Too and everything else, Hollywood has been quick to fire every single white actor and actress who has done something fucked up, and it is usually in a matter of hours. Chris D'Elia was the last one. And there's still not really any evidence proving that he actually hooked up with somebody underage. And, he was fired by his agency and everything else. Like, no, Charlamagne Tha God, everybody gets fired. Yeah. Spacey, Weinstein, all of these guys have been canceled instantly. Nick Cannon actually kept one of his jobs.
Yeah.
And one would argue it's the most high-profile job, leading a family-friendly show on Fox at 8 o'clock at night that draws massive ratings.
It's this is the kind of thing where people should stop watching Fox programming until they fire this guy, to be honest. I'm not one for cancel culture at all, but when something is disagreed, there's a difference between saying something that's aloof and ignorant and saying something unintentionally, and then saying something 6 months ago. This was recorded 6 months ago. His producers have had it. And with all the shit that's going on right now, he decided now is the time to release just a hate-filled anti-Semitic rant. Like, no one gets away with that, ever. So it's not that the Jews control everything. It's that there's no tolerance for intolerance like that. Leonard, you fucking cunt. Because that's Charlemagne Tha God's real name. Oh, Leonard. Call me Charlamagne Tha God. Fuck you, dude. Fucking put your head in the oven.
Yeah.
Like Sylvia Plath. Isn't she the one that oven-headed herself? I don't remember.
I believe so. She oven-headed herself to death. Here's what I'm confused by, Dan. And you have a theology degree, and I believe a master's in it.
No,
so
my master's
maybe you
in
can
Homeland
answer this.
Security. But
okay.
Either way.
Your undergrad, what is it? Your undergrad in theology then?
Yeah, I went to seminary for a while, yeah.
Okay. So my question is this, because this is the third time this has popped up in the last few weeks here. What is it with the black culture and the Jews specifically that, I mean, this is Deshaun Jackson is now made remarks. Nick Cannon has now made remarks. And there was somebody else. Well, look, everybody else who's ganged in here, Charlemagne Tha God, Puff Daddy and all this shit. Like, what is it specifically between that religion and her culture that black people don't like, I guess?
I don't know that I would say in a monolithic way that black people don't like the Jews. I don't think that's true. But I do like anybody that's an activist like that listens to people like Louis Farrakhan, you're going to pick up some anti-Semitic ideology because that's all that motherfucker talked about, man. I mean, it's about the black diaspora, right? So because of the Atlantic slave trade, a very large portion of the black population of Earth is scattered to the winds, right? They're in different countries that aren't necessarily their ancestral country of origin. It's called a diaspora, if you're curious about that. Anyways, the Jews are the same way. The Jews are spread out everywhere. I think there's more Jews in New York than there are in all of Israel or some shit like that. Or maybe it's just in the Northeast as a whole. It's from Farrakhan's perspective, I don't know how much you've looked into him and read his shit and stuff like that, but I did back in the day. And it seems a lot of it is just like kind of co-opting the movement. And then you get, so they're both diasporas, both historically oppressed, wherever they go, really. And there's some kind of competition, at least in Farrakhan's mind. I don't think the Jews ever cared about it, but there was some kind of competition in his brain about, we can't have somebody out there with a worse plight than us. And then it just snowballs from there. People are like, well, we're the real fucking Hebrews. I mean, come on. Like, not that there's any scientific goddamn evidence of a bunch of fucking black Hebrews, dude. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's just like stupid. You know how it's like how legends are born. And then you teach your kids and your kids teach their kids and it gets even further bastardized from the original stupid idea at the beginning and becomes something entirely unrecognizable at some point. That's why now when someone says shit like this, everybody with a 2020 education looks around like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? It's like, you're a flat earther at this point, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's strange. And, you know, I listened to that segment of the show where he was defending Nick Cannon, and his female co-host popped in and she said, you know, look at what happened to Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson said all that's anti-Semitic shit, and then he wasn't fired. He wasn't canceled. He's still working today. That isn't true. Mel Gibson was fucking exiled for years and years, man. I mean, I think he was in Hollywood jail, quote unquote, for a good 7 or 8 years over the remarks he made. He was able to dig himself out of it eventually, and still kind of is today. But you know, it was a long goddamn time. So if Nick Cannon sits out for 7 or 8 years and then comes back eventually, like, fine. I'm not a Nick Cannon fan. I never have been, so I really don't give a shit what happens to Nick Cannon. But I just find it odd that this is, you know, kind of crept up in the last few weeks. in particular, some black celebrities against Jewish people, and I was unfamiliar with why that there would be some form of rife, if you will. I don't even know if that's the right word.
Rife means like something has a lot of something. Ripe.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to use a bigger word that I don't know, a 4-letter word right now. I'm on Zoom and it's tough. I don't have my notes in front of me usually, but anyways, with all of it, I just don't understand why that is, or why one culture has to be more oppressed than the other, and it doesn't make sense to me at all. But nothing's going to happen to these people, so who gives a fuck anyways? Puff Daddy was actually trying to get him to come over to Revolt Network, which is they've trying to been competing with MTV for years. It's on a channel you've never heard of or seen,
and you won't ever hear of it after today. The same way you're not gonna fucking see Jay-Z build a music app that works right or any of this other stuff. These dudes are never gonna do that because they're not Asian. You got to be Asian. Sorry, it's just how it works, man. I'm not gonna dunk, and you're not gonna create a fucking app.
Next up, they found a fish with human teeth.
Giorgio, can you throw that picture up?
Oh, yeah. If you can, you can.
Because it is goddamn horrifying. It's not even just the teeth. It's the lips, too.
I thought this was fake, by the way.
Yeah. It's not the first one
I thought
either.
this was... No. I thought this was a fake picture. And I thought it was just a meme going around of like, yeah, this was how I'm feeling today. This is real. They found these fish with human teeth. And it is a horrifying creature. It's called a triggerfish. And apparently they're kind of dicks, which is not really that surprising. They're very territorial and bite the fuck out of anything that goes near them.
Look at this goddamn thing. Jesus Christ.
Ooh, boy.
I mean, those lips, it's definitely getting injections.
Injections and, look, I guarantee there's somebody that's trying to put their dick in it.
With those teeth, I don't know, man. Honestly.
They look, they're not sharp. They're not like jagged shark teeth.
I know, but any teeth. Apparently, it's got a very strong jaw, too. Like, that's how it defends itself.
Really?
Is by biting shit. This isn't the first one of these we've found, actually. There was a Russian fisherman in 2014 that found one. Same kind of teeth. Like, when we say human teeth, you can, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. But it doesn't look like traditional fish teeth, like what you would think, like angled or circular with a point at the end. It looks like your tooth. It's fucked up.
It looks like a normal human mouth. And, and the teeth are very straight, as if they've had braces or maybe some form of Invisalign.
You got to wonder if there's some kind of dentist hanging out underwater. Maybe it's Aquaman's dentist. They share a dentist. Obviously, they're going to have universal health care down there.
Yeah,
obviously. My concern is what else is the dentist doing to these fish? Like, how are they paying him? This fish doesn't have any money. So the dentist is getting paid somehow. I think he's getting paid in fish pussy.
It could be.
And I'm concerned about
that. Again, you could probably use that mouth for something because the teeth are squared off. They're not sharp teeth, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, if you put one of those one of those risers that they use at the dentist to keep your mouth propped open the whole time, you probably fuck that mouth for a while.
Yeah, you could probably get off.
Because we've all put our dick in a regular fish mouth, and it's fine.
Yeah,
for the most part. Yeah. Like, you want to stay away from catfish and things that have like what do they call that? Huh?
Sharp, pointy teeth?
Not barbs, but catfish have scales that are like sharp, right? Yeah. That they can cut you with. Yeah, you want to stay away from that. Yeah. You don't want to fucking walk in to the doctor for your physical and have like fish cut marks in and around your groin area, because it's going to lead to some questions that might lead to you going to prison. I don't know what the legality is with regard to having sex with fish, but I'm pretty sure it's not legal. Can you look that up, Alec?
Yeah,
Alex is going to look up the legality of fucking fish right quick.
See what the rules are on that. In the meantime, if you're out there and you are going to fuck a fish, might as well fuck a fish on a ghost bed from ghostbed.com/drinking bros.
You can hold its fins down with like just 2 fingers. Easy.
That's it. Just a little 2-finger.
You might need somebody. You might need a partner to hold the tail though.
Look, you gotta practice safety first, so you're gonna need a partner to hold that tail down. ghostbed.com/drinking bros is they've got the finest mattresses on the planet. They're also doing something amazing that no other company's doing. They're giving everybody who is a member of the military, a first responder, a teacher, or any person that works in the government 30% off of everything in the entire store. It's awesome that they're doing this. A lot of people are going back into shutdowns, and it's sad, man. It's getting shitty again out there, and GhostBed is here to help you out, because let's face it, we all might be spending some more time in our houses very soon. Go to ghostbed.com/drinking bros today. For the rest of us regular humans, you get 25% off everything in the entire store. And if you get a mattress, you get 2 free pillows. As always, the pay-as-you-go program, the 36-month no interest, is still applicable with all of these deals. Go there now. The adjustable base is on its way to my house, and I'm amped about it. Next up, why do we tolerate so much government corruption? The Department of Health and Human Services Inspector General decided this week that the co-director of the Operation Warp Speed, the program designed to create a COVID vaccine, can continue to make and maintain extensive investments into the drug industry without concerns for ethics or violation. The human in charge of developing a publicly invested company, it's just, this is fucking insane to me, man. I just don't understand how this is allowed, man, because he can make millions and millions of dollars on this. And look, you can go along and go through as many trials and fuck ups as you want with this. How is this possible, Dan? It's still legal.
It'd be bad enough if it was just a loophole, right, that somebody could take advantage of. The worst part is that the Inspector General actually did an investigation and decided that there's no conflict. You know what I mean? That's like levels of corruption deep.
Yeah.
Like, not only is there an investigation, but the investigation finds something that's clearly not okay, and they publish the findings. They don't give a fuck about you, dude. They don't care about how fucking corrupt you think they are even. They don't even care. There's nothing that they care about. All they care about is more power. That's why I don't trust any fucking politician. I don't care who it is. If it was my best friend, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Yeah, it's strange. And, you know, you hear these stories and you read these articles about what's going on. And I think there is just so much happening in the world today that people are just, they're beaten down and they're like, well, fuck it. I mean, I guess it's going to happen. So whatever, you know, this has been going on for years and years and years.
Yeah. And it's never going to stop.
No.
As Rob Zombie said. Let's see. Just to recap this. So the human being that's in charge of developing a publicly funded, meaning your taxpayer dollars, vaccine is legally able, even after review, to invest in medical companies while presiding over the board that will award a contract for what will likely be the most used vaccine in human history.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck, man?
I mean,
like, that's like you and I start a commission on fucking fish in the face, right? We decide that it's legal, and then we start charging people to fuck fish faces. Is that right? Yeah. No, it's probably not the same. This is why I don't vote. It's why I don't vote, and why I'm not going to vote. Ever. And I recommend you don't vote either. And it's because there's nothing that one candidate can do. I don't care how, like, I love Crenshaw and the way he thinks. I love Adam Kinzinger because they're like fucking rational human beings. I like these people a lot. But I don't think either one of them can do anything to stop this level of corruption. The only thing that would really make a difference is if some third party that rejected the principle of binary politics put 500 candidates out into the field and won all the congressional seats, or a plurality of them at least. Like, maybe not even half, but enough to make a difference. That's the only way it could ever happen. And in one cycle, it'd have to happen in one cycle. Because like you saw with the progressives and the Tea Party, you got one chance to get those people in office. Some of them will stick around. Most of them will fade away. But if you fucking put a fuck ton of them in at once, you can make a real difference. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't either. Yesterday we talked about Kanye's bid. It appeared as if it had failed. That was incorrect, and he's actually filing paperwork. He's made the ballot in Oklahoma, so he's filed the correct paperwork, and he made it on one state. He missed Florida today, though, Dan. So You still get a shot to vote for Kanye. I don't know if he'll make Texas or not, but you still got your shot on that one at least.
I mean, I'll write him in.
Look, he might be on the ballot. He made Oklahoma today, so he's in there.
I mean, I wouldn't actually vote for Kanye West. He's a fucking idiot. But I will be writing in myself as I do every year. So when I say I don't vote, I do vote. I vote for myself in every single election.
Gotcha. I want to tell you in the audience what the name of the party is. He is registered underneath the birthday party, and that is real, by the way. You're welcome. You're welcome. If you or a loved one is having a birthday party at home, you should get them some KillcliffCBD.com. 25 milligrams of CBD in every single can. They got 3 amazing flavors: grape, orange. The mango is great, dude. Shit, I always sleep on the mango and I shouldn't. All their flavors are amazing. 25 milligrams of CBD in every single can. They will ship it directly to your doorstep with the promo code Drinkin Bros, which will get you 20% off. And that shipping is free. And when you're getting cans delivered, that is a big cost off. You will not piss hot on this. There's no THC in all of these cans. To my knowledge right now, it's only us and Joe Rogan that are promoting it. And I know Joe Rogan says the same thing on his Instagram of like, he drinks a can of this shit every day. So do we. Somebody even called me out on RP. It was just like, hey man, there's no way you drink a can of this shit every day. Yes, I do. Like, dude, there is nothing like drinking a can of this shit at nights. I am all in on KillcliffCBD.com. I wish we fucking owned that goddamn company. That's how much I love it. Promo code Drinkin Bros gets you 20% off and free shipping at KillcliffCBD.com. Next up, Dan, I feel like this should be a weekly segment for you and you only called CNN Can Get Fucked, because I feel like every week there is a story that just absolutely makes you lose your fucking mind.
Every day there's a story. So I don't know if you don't frequent CNN, they've started to categorize some of their articles, and there's no real organization to it. They just like put a tag in front of something like analysis, synthesis, opinion, but it's all opinion. All of it is opinion. So
yes,
I saw one. This isn't even the story from today, but I saw one 2 days ago, and it had the opinion tag on it, and then the headline said the facts are in. Here are the facts. I'm like, what? Opinion's not a fact, right? Is it a fact? Anyways, here's the most egregious thing that I saw on CNN so far this week. And again, the week's not over, so
no, not even close.
These fucking pieces of shit
not
always
even close.
Manage to top themselves. So as we've seen over the past couple of weeks, crime is on the fucking rise everywhere. Like in every major city, particularly the ones that have been decrying police and yelling about defunding police, right? Those cities, Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, fucking Chicago, they have been butt fucked in the last fucking 2 or 3 weeks. Record highs in shootings and murders and all this other bullshit. In New York, so I'm just going to read some stats right quick. In New York, the homicide rate for the first half of the year is up 23% over 2019. And that's with everybody quarantined and staying at home, by the way, because these numbers are much more fucked up when you think about it in that context. So the first half of 2020 is 23% higher for crime rate than it was in 2019, despite the fact that these major cities were shut down. And they saw huge drops in crime for like a 2-month period because nobody was out and about, right? And even with that, we still have much higher crime rates after 3+ months of quarantining. It's like nonsense. Anyways, Chicago homicide rates have jumped 40% over the last week, over the last week of June and the first week of July compared to the same period last year. Los Angeles has seen a double-digit rise in homicides in the past 2 months.
Yes, we'll be there this week.
Yeah,
so
maybe we'll get homicided.
It'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be a great story for the show.
Every day when I wake up, I'm like, fuck. You fucking kidding me?
Is there a worse place to die than LA, though? Be honest.
I don't know. Probably Seattle. At least it'll be warm in LA.
Oh. Well, if I went out in Chaz, dude, I'd be amped about it. Like, let them tear my arms and legs off in Chaz and give me to the people.
You might get quartered. Anyways, back to the story. With all this data, a normal, reasonable, sensible human being would probably surmise that attacking the institution of policing probably weakened it in 2 different ways. One, people lose respect and confidence in the police. depending on which side you're on. And 2, morale amongst police officers result in things like you see in New York City, record highs in fucking early retirements and people just quitting and leaving. And that's what a normal human being would probably think. It's some combination of the assault on police officers that is causing a rise in crime, because those are 2 things that are very evident that they're going on right now. CNN ran with the article headline, quote, "Crime is surging in U.S. cities. Some say defunding police will actually make it fall." Like that's their article that they write on this issue. And then when you dig into the actual article, there's about half a paragraph that shows any kind of thought process on that, and the entire rest of it is about how it's because police are getting attacked, or because it's summertime and crime rates rise in summertime and blah blah blah. Right? There's all they go through every single explanation, a very nuanced take, but the headline is this: crime is surging in U.S. cities. Some say defunding the police will actually make it fall. This is, whenever an article says some say ... some people say the goddamn earth is flat, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people say that Popeye's chicken sandwiches are better than Chick-fil-A. It's bullshit. It's just bullshit. Those people, don't listen to them. And when somebody tells me that getting rid of police in a high crime area is going to make crime go down, that is the dumbest shit that any human being could ever say, other than I'm a Cowboys fan, and again, Popeye's chicken is better than Chick-fil-A. Both of those things are stupid. Fuck all you.
The spicy chicken sandwich, I'll give it to Popeyes. I really will. I really will. But yeah, I watched a video that the Hodge twins did on Instagram last night in regards to a speech that AOC did the other day.
Oh yeah.
About the crime rate in the suburbs, why it's not as high and blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, she's openly asking to defund the police in this speech, and I'm like, good fucking luck, dude. If I'm in her district, and she's gonna win because they're all fucking idiots who vote for her, she's gonna get reelected again this fall. I watched that video and I'm like, she doesn't want police in my neighborhood. Well, I definitely can't vote for her, but they're learning the hard way. And all of these fucking cities like LA, man, is a fucking hellhole right now. Joey Diaz did a thing on his podcast about it yesterday or the day before, and it's just gotten crazy, man. This is what's going to happen when you defund the police, you fucking idiots. All of these crime rates are going to go up, and imagine when people aren't stuck inside their houses. Yeah, good fucking luck.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like AOC said something about how people are probably, I think we talked about it yesterday, people are probably just, feeling like because they're scared they can't pay their rent, so they're shoplifting bread. Like, oh, yeah. Like, I know personally, like I've shoplifted quite a bit of bread, and usually what I do, the first thing I do is shoot a 12-year-old. Because you don't want that to, like, even before you even go in and steal the bread, you have to shoot that 12-year-old because you don't want them stealing your bread when you come out, right?
Exactly.
Makes sense to me. Like, she should be the chief of police.
She's a fucking idiot because basically that's what she's explaining. And it sucks, man. She
might be one of the dumbest people that's ever been an elected official in this country. Like, literally, she might be one of the dumbest people of all time.
Maybe in the history. But she's going to get reelected again. So
I bet she got kicked by a horse at some point. That's what I think. Because she kind of looks like a horse. So here's what I think happened. She pissed off some kind of elf or fairy, and they put a curse on her to look like a horse and then get kicked in the head repeatedly by horses. It's those two things. You can get fake tits all you want, but that horse face is not going away, honey. Sorry. Yeah. You can ask the fucking Sex and the City girl about that.
Sarah Jessica Parker is who you're referring to. And the crazy the crazy eyes on AOC, though, I thought had you. I thought they had you, Dan.
Had me? No. Come on, man.
That crazy look, though, in the eyes, you love. God damn it, you love it.
I mean, it's not bad, but I'm older and wiser now.
Yeah, and if you're older and wiser at home, you should get expressvpn.com/Drinkin Bros for all of your devices. Protect your digital butthole. expressvpn.com/Drinkin Bros is the place where you can go to not only protect all your passwords and accounts and emails and banking statements, but you can also watch all of your favorite shows from other countries, because let's face it, we're all at the end of our content queue. as far as Netflix and Hulu and everything else is concerned. You can also beat all the firewalls at work with it. It's a seamless app that runs in the background of your laptop, your desktop, your iPhone, iPad, every device that you have. It is $7 a month. That is it to protect everything you have. If you use the URL expressvpn.com/Drinkin Bros today, you get 3 free months when you sign up for a year. That's it, $7 a month. Look, we all have them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a VPN, I don't know what fucking world you're living in. But Jessie, my wife, uses it to watch Netflix in like other countries and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's into weird shit.
Like
we found
documentaries.
We found out a couple of months ago that she's super into bondage porn, and now we find out she's really into like Czechoslovakian fucking documentaries or some shit.
Crime docs.
What's her fucking deal?
I don't know. I walked in and she was watching one on expressvpn.com/Drinkin Bros, and it was one that was from India, and it was all in whatever language they speak, and I didn't understand one word. It was all words at the bottom of the screen, and it was some murder mystery thing, and I was like, I'm not watching any of this with you. I went outside and I watched the ACL, Dan, on ESPN2. That is the American Cornhole League, and I watched a full hour of that, no lie.
Well, that's stupid. That's a huge waste of time, to be honest.
Not really. Yeah. Not really, Dan.
Huge waste of time. You should have been watching anything else, my man. I think I would watch the WNBA before I would watch Major League Cornhole.
It was pretty good. The weird thing is that was the first sport back, is what they are claiming, and they are all wearing masks. So they were wearing masks while they were playing. Don't know who's handling those bags, but clearly the mask must have protected them from the coronavirus, and definitely not hands. Next up, D'Anthony, our girl Ghislaine Maxwell has been denied bail. She went in and pleaded not guilty.
Yeah.
She's going to be held in said prison until July 2021. Right now, that said prison is it's a Brooklyn detention center. I don't know if she'll be moved. I don't know how long she's going to stay alive.
Yeah, I can't understand. Like, did you watch the video of her hearing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would she have thought that she was gonna get bail? Really? I mean, what the fuck? She's been in hiding for months, dude.
No, I don't think she was. And I talked about this briefly on Ross Patterson Revolution the other day. I said, look, if I'm her, right, and you don't want to get suicided, I would go to the feds and say, look, I will give you everything you possibly need on every single famous person of all time. Mm-hmm. I think that trade, and I know she's been involved in some fucked up shits, but this is what I want to ask you about. I think that trade for the feds is worth it to take down all of these other people. How does that work, Dan, behind the scenes with the feds? Can you do that and say, look, I'll give you everything you want and then get immunity, and then you put me in witness protection program? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, she's definitely, if she made a deal, she's going into WITSEC for sure, because for a number of reasons, for all the obvious reasons. But the one thing that's kind of weird to me is that she pleaded not guilty. Like, maybe they just had to get the arraignment done and had to get a plea entered like that. But typically, if you're negotiating like that I don't think that's the case. You don't plead not guilty and then go back and, say we cut a deal or what. I mean, you can cut a deal at any point, by the way.
Well,
whether you register a plea or not, you can cut a deal. That doesn't really matter. I'm surprised, considering the amount of work that's already been done on this case and the amount of documentation they have, that they didn't just automatically say she's a state's witness. We're going to spend the next fucking couple of months getting all this information out of her if she was cooperating. I don't know why they wouldn't say that, because I think that a level of transparency is required in this investigation that maybe we've never seen before, because of how many people are involved and how powerful all those people are. Because a lot of these people that are in politics or in Hollywood or in business or whatever can pick up a phone call and call a relative or a friend at the FBI or whatever the fuck else and get their name left out of shit. It happens all the goddamn time, and I don't believe anybody that tells me it doesn't, because I've seen it personally happen. I've seen cases going on, well, actually this one kind of brushes up against some friends of ours, so we're going to go the other direction. Like, no, we follow the evidence, bitch. And if you don't like that, you need to find a new fucking job. I think there needs to be a level of transparency here that is unprecedented in American jurisprudence. And if there's not, then a lot of people are going to get away with raping children.
I agree, and I think with her pleading not guilty, it does two things, because that riddle I think I've solved. One, it did give her an attempt at bail, where if she pleaded anything else, bail wouldn't even be an option. I think she knew she was going to get denied bail, obviously.
Yeah.
But then it also gives the feds more time to say, look, what else do you have? Because there is a rumor going around today that she has footage, endless miles and miles of footage from inside the house of Epstein's house on Sex Island. And that it was all documented. It was all on camera. And that's how they were, Epstein in particular, they were getting all these powerful people for years and years and years to do shit, is because they had camera evidence of all of these people doing fucked up shit. There is a rumor that she is willing to give all of this up. So I assume if this does go down, it is going to take some time for her lawyer to hammer out a deal with the feds.
Well, their court date's not set until a year from now. It's
right.
July of 2021. I don't think there's even a specific date set. What? July 12th, 2021. So there's a specific date. July 12th, 2021. So they got a year to put it together. I would guess that it's going to take anywhere between 6 and 9 months to unpack all of this shit. But that's a guess. And if there's, I mean, just go read the list of people that she's been involved with, that the Epstein crew was involved in over the years. And it's so many people, and it's going to be so convoluted. And the FBI, being a public agency, can't just throw around accusations of people, right? They have to fucking, anybody's name they've listed publicly, they're going to have a case against. Believe that shit, because they don't want to get sued. And these are the people that can and will sue you for any kind of defamation like that. It's going to be very fucking interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens, obviously. I hope she does give up all the footage. I hope she does give up all the names. I'm just curious to see if she'll make it that long, if she lives that long.
No way.
To me, I think the most interesting thing, since look, we are out of content and Hollywood is not coming back anytime soon. I think the most interesting TV show you could put on the air right now is just put a camera in her cell, Big Brother style, and just see what she does all day just to make sure she's alive. I know I would check in on that probably 10 times a day just to see if Ghislaine is still alive. Like, that would be fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, like the baby giraffes and shit.
Yeah. Why not put a baby giraffe camera on her? Or like, remember when they went to space, and that was you could watch the Facebook channel of the world turning.
Yeah, that was weird to me, because I just assumed that astronauts are just constantly pounding off up there. Like, what else are you gonna do? Honestly, I've been on deployments, and I know that you spend a couple hours a day training and fighting, and the rest of the time you're just sitting there with your thumb up your butt, reading books and watching movies and doing whatever the fuck else. I assume it's got to be like that in space. I'm sure there's a lot more mechanical tasks, and their exercise is more important because, you know, they're losing bone density and muscle density up there, but there's still got to be a lot of free time. So if somebody invited me to the International Space Station, I would request a rain suit, because I just assume there's fucking cum floating around everywhere.
Yeah, right? Easily.
Like, I don't want to be fucking floating through the air and just have a fucking piece of jizz. Like, oh no, and I can't. What can I do? It's
nothing.
The laws of motion, equal and opposite. Like, I'd have to fucking be close to something to push off of to get away from that jizz. I don't want to swat jizz away from my face. I've done that enough.
Yeah, goddamn right you have.
I don't know what to do, man.
Yeah, I think two things. One, I think it's probably pretty difficult to jack off in space because there's so many cameras inside the ship that are
but that's rude, man. Let these people fucking pound off.
But here's the thing: there's 90 people in some, in Houston, watching this guy just jack off into space over and over again. Like, I think he knows that. I hope there's a separate restroom for him to go into.
Yeah, but even then,
I don't know how that works.
Even then, if somebody goes into that, they're going into pound off, right? Like, if there's cameras everywhere and all these people in Houston are watching, and a dude goes into the fucking shitter area for 45 minutes, like, come on. He was in there with his legs pinned behind his own head, pounding off into his own goddamn face, and you know it.
Yeah, I tend to agree on this one.
I just want a little privacy.
If there's a vacuum button that just kind of sucks it out into space, because that's where I assume piss and shit went, right? Don't they just shoot it out into space? And that's
I think they just they've cruised around through the space station with a cable hooked up to their butthole, I think. and it fires it straight out.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Next up, if you're looking to watch this up close and personal on your cameras, you should probably get some glasses from felixgrayglasses.com/drinking bros. These protect your eyes from blue light rays because you're staring at the screen all day long. But let's face it, if you're wearing them in space, it could also protect your eyes from cum shots.
Yeah, well, that's way more important than fucking blue light, to be honest.
Well, we're spending about 14 hours now. That's the new average that they've said, 14 hours a day in front of a screen. And I get it. I'm on a fucking Zoom right now with you. So it's true. You're losing your fucking eyesight. This is the only thing that will protect you and save your eyes. I feel like since this pandemic, me staring at these fucking screens all day, like my eyesight is going down. Everybody keeps stealing the Felix Gray glasses in the goddamn office. So please send us some more. You can go to felixgrayglasses.com today and get your own pair. They've got 1 million frames to choose from. It's better than any goddamn thing you can get at Lens Crafters. And they're the only ones with this technology. They're affordable. They have free overnight shipping with these things. And you buy a pair and you're good to go forever. They're one of the most popular items on our set that everyone takes, including Tiffers. Tiffers is always taking these goddamn things.
Yeah, she's a thief.
God damn it. Go to felixgrayglasses.com today. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/drinking bros and get a pair. They're great. I fucking love them. Everybody keeps stealing them.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being in space? Like your first trip to space, and you're looking out the window as the Earth gets smaller and smaller. I mean, obviously it's still huge, but it's getting like further away. And you're like, wow, you're just admiring the Earth. And then all of a sudden out the window, you see like a fucking turd cross through your path. Like, what the fuck? Hey, you guys shitting outside? What's going on over here?
Be great, wouldn't it?
It'd be funny. What if it was diarrhea and it just like splattered up against the fucking window?
I'd like a nice hard turd where it's like, dude, that way you could go turd hunting.
Oh, yeah. Like with a fucking net. You're in a fucking beekeeper suit with a net on looking for turds.
Because if you're bored, I would just step outside the ship and just go turd hunting for a couple hours a day.
Look, we've all hunted for turds at some point.
Yeah. Some of us more than others. Next up, drug overdoses are reaching record highs. The media has done a shitty job thus far discussing what the non-virus related fallouts of the shutdown has been. And look, I just assume this. You're right, though. No one in the media has been talking about this shit. But if you're at home and you're locked inside, first of all, drug dealers are out of drugs. So good luck calling a drug dealer and getting anything these days. And the ones who were lucky and ordered these in advance of the pandemic just to keep them in some form of Johnny Depp drug box at their house, congratulations, you won. But, you know, people are overdosing. They're not saying why. I think a lot of them are, you know, look, you've lost your job or you're bored or something fucked up has happened to you at your house. There's been a lot of domestic abuse, domestic violence cases and child abuse and shit because you haven't been able to leave your house. This is not a surprise to me, Dan. Why isn't the media reporting this?
That's a really good question. I don't know, because it doesn't fit the narrative. You know what I mean? Like nothing that doesn't keep us wearing masks indoors and afraid. You know, if there's any impetus data-wise to take a second look at what we're doing vis-a-vis control, look, man, this whole fucking the wearing the mask thing is not because I don't want to wear a mask. It's because the government should not be allowed to fucking force us to do shit like that. It's not about, like, I will do it because I'm a responsible human being if I'm going to be around old or compromised people or around a lot of people or whatever the case is. Any kind of way that might put me at risk to get and then transmit some kind of virus that might be harmful to other people. That's just being a decent human being to do that. But the government telling me to do it is another thing altogether. What's worse is the government telling private businesses that they can't open because of something like this gives the government an amount of control that is unconstitutional. It just, I don't give a fuck about this virus or even how deadly it is. It could be the most deadly thing of all time, which it's clearly not. But it could be way deadlier than it is right now, and still the government should not have the authority to shut down private businesses, because here's what happens. The government shuts down private businesses, and the ultimate thing, or the ultimate end to that situation is the government collecting more taxes from people that still make money and redistributing that money. right? That is socialism. And when you add the level of power and means of control to the government, which would happen as well because there's no more private business, that is communism, bitch. And we're not fucking doing that here. I would rather fucking die. So if you want to have that fucking fight, we'll have it out in the street. I don't give a fuck about you and your fucking bullshit, Dr. Fauci. Like, you think, like, a scientist alone should not be making this decision. A scientist and an economist and a psychologist should be making this decision because there's all these other ancillary fucking second, third order effects. Like 70,000 people died of drug overdoses last year. This year, which is a record, by the way. This year, we're on pace for even more already. Obviously, of course we are, right? And suicides are up this year. They were up last year. Now they're up again this year. Like, this shit's going to keep happening. The economy's fucked. All these second, third order effects of shutting down have made it such that the government, including fucking Trump and CNN and all these fucking dickholes, can't admit now they can't admit any piece of information that goes against that narrative of keeping shit shut down because they're afraid of what it means. It means that you fucked us and that you tried very hard to take control of the American population and they said no.
Yeah, and look, to Trump's credit on this, he's still fighting the good fight of like, look, man, don't wear masks, go out and do things, all that other shit. I know the Republican, the RNC convention just announced earlier that they're still planning on doing an in-person, event for that 3-day stretch there down in Jacksonville, and they're looking at doing it outdoors. They will limit it, apparently, like the number of people in. Yeah, but they're still going to do it, and we've bitched about this for weeks and weeks and weeks at this point, ad nauseum, and it's one of those things where, fuck, man, no one's going to listen to us. But yes, all of this is going to keep getting worse. Drug overdoses, and all the things that we just talked about earlier, and people don't care. Politicians don't care. So it's shocking. At least the governor of Georgia was like, "Fuck it today."
Yeah.
Next up,
some of it's good. I don't honestly think Trump is doing enough to combat this. Like, there's only so much control the president has, for sure. But he's using a lot of his platform just to say and tweet stupid fucking bullshit instead of actually, all he's got to do is put out the facts of the case. Here's how many deaths we think have occurred. Here's how many fucking cases have occurred. It seems like we have hotspots here, and here. But it's mostly young people because these are the facts of the case. Here's the actual death rate. It's about 0.38% still. And I personally, as the president, don't think this is enough to shut our whole economy down. That's all he needs to say. That. Over and over and over again. He doesn't need to say all this other fucking stupid bullshit that he's been saying.
He did get a new campaign manager last night. So
yeah, it's the same guy that came in and saved his campaign last time.
No. It is. Yes, you're right. And then he's going to keep the digital guy, Brad Parscale. Not going to work there. I don't know. Pasca. Well, no, he's working there.
Americano. Yeah, he's that guy's good. He's digital though, like being a
digital guy. Yeah.
This new campaign manager is his specialty is winning battleground states. So of course he brings him in now, and it makes sense.
Got it. Any shot that he gets rid of Pence? I know that's off topic,
I really hope so. Honestly, like my understanding is that Pence is a reasonably decent guy. If you're around him and shit, like he's a nice person and blah, blah, blah. And he seems to, he's not, he doesn't have dementia, which, he looks a lot older than he really is. I think when I first saw him, like, damn, this dude's like 80 years old, but he's not. He's like 20 years younger than that. But anyways, he's also part of that old guard that is going to stop the kind of progress that we actually want to see. Like, getting all these people out of jail for weed and legalizing weed and making sure that you can marry whomever the fuck you want, provided it's not a child. You know what I mean? Like, it's he is a fucking world-class homophobe and has been for his entire political career, and he maintains that stance to this day. So yeah, I don't think it benefits Trump in any way to keep that guy on the ticket. I don't know if he'll get rid of him or not, but I hope he does.
I think it'd be a nice switch up for Nikki Haley. I know we chatted about it a little bit yesterday, but as the days go by, if you're willing to change campaign managers and all that stuff, I don't know why not give that a shot as well. Kenny Stills, the wide receiver for the Houston Texans was arrested for protesting with a crowd on someone's private property.
Yeah, it was the governor. Hold on. Or the district attorney of that city. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, this was for Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
He's facing what, felony 2 charges for this?
Yeah, in Louisville, Kentucky. He and 87 or 86 other people marched to the district attorney of Louisville, Kentucky's house, and then stood on her front lawn and yelled or his front yard. What's the guy's name? Cameron. Yeah. So I don't know what his first name is, but his last name's Cameron. Anyways, they're trying to get the police officers fired that were involved in that. I don't know where that investigation is or what's going on. Here's what I do know, though. You can't fucking stand on somebody else's private property. And if they ask you to leave and you don't leave, it's trespassing. And if you resist the order to leave, then it becomes, other stuff. And now it's a fucking felony. And I also have to question what the motivation of someone is to go to another person's house and stand on their property. Because to me, that seems like the entire point is to intimidate someone. If you go to City Hall and you protest, that is a demonstration. That is to be heard. And you use that because it's a public building and it's a representation of the government and it isn't a representation of a single person. Like if you went to the White House and protested, that's going to become problematic because the president lives there. But if you go to the Capitol building, that's fine. I got no problem with that. Like that makes sense to me. If you go to a local elected official's house and stand on their fucking property, 100 people, like that is intimidation. And intimidation, the threat of violence or violence intended to coerce a political action, is terrorism. That is the goddamn definition of terrorism. Now, I don't think these people are terrorists, but you have to understand that if you show up on somebody's lawn like that, 100 deep, 85 or 86 deep or whatever the fuck it was, I'm coming out there with a fucking gun. Like if you're out there yelling and fucking banging on shit and yelling at me and trying to intimidate me, I'm going to come out there with a fucking gun and we're going to get down, bro, because you're not going to fucking threaten me in my own house. Sorry. This is goddamn America. You can get fucked with that bullshit. And I'm glad that Stills got arrested, and I hope he gets fucking prosecuted for it.
Yeah, and I wonder if he had children, because that's the other thing you think about. Like, I've got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. If 87 people rolled up onto my house and I got 2 kids sleeping in there, you can bet your fucking sweet ass I'm going out there with guns. And to your point about, showing up to someone else's house, the only time I have done that to a complete stranger was because I was either looking for a fight or looking to intimidate someone because they had wronged me personally.
Yeah.
There is no other explanation for that whatsoever.
Well,
because you're right. A peaceful protest, you go to their fucking office, or you go to the Capitol. Going to someone's house is next level shit that you were definitely looking for more than just a peaceful protest at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, for what it's worth, the protest did seem to be peaceful. Most of the people seemed to be just sitting down in her lawn. That's still a crime, by the way. Or in his lawn, rather. It's a dude, Cameron. I don't remember what his first name is.
Kirk.
Huh?
Kirk Cameron. It was probably Kirk Cameron.
No. Probably not that guy. AG? No, AG is short for Attorney General. You fucking dick.
Come on, Alec. His name is not Ag. It's not Ag.
Reacts to Yeah, so a bunch of people on social media today have been posting pictures like of them, of the protesters. Oh, they're fucking all sitting down and calm. Like, yeah, that's one snapshot. I want to see the whole thing. If anybody at any point turns around, faces that house and yells anything, to me, I'm coming outside and we're going to have a fucking confrontation. And if it's me, even with this Ken and fucking Karen bullshit, which it seems like they're getting prosecuted right now based on what I'm hearing, but if you are 1 or 2 people, like, why do you need a gun? Nobody else had a gun. My fucking one gun still won't stop 86 fucking sets of fists from killing me. I don't know if you've ever been in a real goddamn fight in your life, you liberal fucking pussies. And in your entire life, I don't think you've ever been in a fight, because you would understand that no matter, I could have a fucking ton of gun, I could have a fucking cruiser weapon right there. But if 50 feet away from me, there's 200 or 300 people like there were with the Ken and Karen situation in St. Louis, that's still not enough. It's still not enough to defend yourself. So the only thing you can do is posture. You come outside with a gun and you say, if you come fucking near me, I'm going to shoot you in your fucking face, because that's how you do that.
Yeah, and it's a real slippery slope at that point, man, when you're going to people's houses and shit. I'll be curious to see what happens. You want my guess? My guess is because it's Kenny Stills, nothing will happen. Nothing at all. People will just chalk it up to, well, that's the movement right now. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, they need to. There's kids watching this shit, and people like Kenny Stills. He's not a young man anymore. He's 28 years old. He's been around for a minute. He's been in the NFL for 6 years now, I think. It's time to fucking grow up, guy. Like, yeah, I understand that situation is fucked up, and you want to do something about it, and I don't blame you for that. But the way you choose to use your power defines you as a person. And what you've chosen to do is try to intimidate a public official instead of use your power to fucking mobilize other people. You are a piece of shit, Kenny Stills. Get fucked.
Last but not least here, scientists have determined how many hot dogs a human being can possibly eat. First of all, Joey Chestnut did this 2 weeks ago. So we really don't need any of your commie science here, but we can take a look at this anyways. A prominent medical journal published a study Tuesday where researchers analyzed 39 years of data from the annual Nathan's Famous Coney Island hot dog eating contest, and using mathematical modeling, calculated the maximum number of hot dogs one person could possibly eat during the contest's 10-minute duration is 84. That is the number. Now, those of you who are watching live with us on YouTube 2 weeks ago, Joey set the record at 75. So it looks like, Dan, he's probably got 9 more dogs left that he could jam into his belly.
This is like under every optimal circumstance with the best at doing it. And it's not necessarily 84. Like, if you read different articles, you're going to get different numbers because the actual finding in the journal was 832 grams, right?
Right.
And a hot dog is about 100 grams, one way or the other. It depends on the dogs, right? So it's kind of a ball. It's somewhere between 83 and 85 is my understanding. But that's why they call it 84 in this article. So 84 dogs. Chestnut just set the record again.
75.
Yeah. He's also the only person to ever eat 70. The next highest total was Kobayashi, and it was 63 years ago.
Yeah.
So 75 hot dogs is 90% of the way to maximum human capacity. So imagine that some scientists determined what the highest a human being could jump is, or the fastest a human being could run, and somebody right now is doing 90% of that. That would be very, very impressive. Like, I think the fastest sprinter of all time got clocked at like 32 miles per hour or some shit like that. It was a fucking incredible amount of speed. Nobody else is even close to this guy.
No,
you know what I mean?
he's
would
on
be
a different level.
This would be like a guy in the NBA jumping up and grabbing onto the top of the backboard and just hanging off of it. Like, we've seen people reach up and grab quarters out. Like Vince Carter did it once back in the day, I think. Some other people with crazy hops. Chestnut's eaten 70 or more hot dogs in 5 consecutive competitions. No one else has ever done more than 63. He's the most dominant athlete of our generation by a wide margin. Like, nobody's done anything like this. The closest you're going to come to this kind of dominance is probably Bill Russell with the Celtics. And that was when he was the only tall black dude playing basketball, really. Like, he just dominated everybody because there's nobody else playing back then.
Yeah, and Bill Russell, to my knowledge, had 10 championships, and Chestnut has 13 yellow mustard belts.
Yeah.
So I got to give the edge to Chestnut on this one as far as greatest athlete ever created in the history of this planet.
He's the best. I mean, there's no question about it. But
scientists, I'll take the scientist knowledge, though, and say, look, he's always got room to improve. That means he can fit 9 more dogs in, and that would be a hell of a feat. So we'll see.
I think it's pretty fucking funny because
it's amazing.
Somebody will come break this 84 record probably at some point, right? You got to think they will.
I don't know.
Like, it's just a matter of training. The guy didn't say, the scientist that wrote this, what's his name, Jeff Smolig or some shit. He didn't say what would happen if somebody ate that 85th hot dog. But I'm guessing that your butthole would turn inside out and eat your body, because that's what I don't know if you were familiar with this. It happens. If you eat too much, what happens is there's so much force pushing down in your butthole that it's like a black hole, and it collapses in on itself, and you just become a butthole. There's no body left. It's just an asshole that has it has all of the mass of your body. So my butthole, I would just be a butthole then that weighed 225 pounds, but I'm the size of a fucking quarter. It's crazy, man.
And I think that happened to a guy in Tokyo in 1983.
Yeah.
He's terrible to be around because he stinks all the time, but still alive. I just don't know who funded this scientific research.
Who funds any of this shit?
I don't get it.
Like all these, I love science. You guys know that. I never stop fucking talking about it, but I don't. If you're going to school to become a researcher or something like that, don't fucking expect to make a lot of money because you're not going to. Unless you write a crazy ass book that's super interesting about your research that people really like, you're never going to make money. And the idea of trying to get, I would love to be on the board of some of the. As a matter of fact, speaking of being on the board, I'm going to get to another story after this, like a quick one. I would love to be on the board of whatever organization decides who gets funding for what, because it would be like I would be Simon Cowell. I would be lighting people on fucking fire every single day. And speaking of that, Veterans Got Talent is doing a show, and they need another judge, and they're looking for another judge. Drinkin' Bros, it's going to be me. So let's go out and make that happen. Find it on Instagram.
Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, they haven't chosen me yet or not, but I've been talking a lot of shit, so
it'd be great.
Yeah, I just really like judging people.
You're one of the best in the biz at it.
Yeah.
One of the best in the biz at it. Let's get to the Drinkin' Bro of the week, shall we? This one was submitted by Jake Hain from Pennsylvania. He's been a member of Drinkin' Bros for 2 years. He's nominating Troy. He says the last name is sensitive, so he's going to leave that out of the description. 3 nights ago, my girlfriend was working at Buffalo Wild Wings in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. A gunman opened fire and executed 2 people leaving the building. Upon entering the building, the gunman met the end of his natural life when Troy used his concealed carry 1911 to save everyone in the building, including my girlfriend of 2 years. He is a hero in the eyes of many. Unfortunately, he's caught heat for carrying in a no-gun zone. Hearing this would certainly help him. Wow, that's a crazy fucking story. Cheers to Jake and to Troy, whose last name we will leave out of this.
I think you said his name was Sensitive. Troy Sensitive, I believe.
Troy Sensitive, yeah. So we'll go with Troy Sensitive. Look, it's terrible that some people were killed, obviously, but I haven't heard about this story.
No, you never.
Fucking awesome.
Who publishes stories about gun owners using their guns to protect people?
So let me ask you this.
There's no media outlet that's going to publish that. Come on.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Dan. What happens in this case? Does anything, if you're carrying in a no-gun zone, but you kill somebody who is open-fired on people, what's the law on that?
Well, I mean, you're going to get arraigned for homicide first because you would in any case, regardless, even if it's a clear-cut case of self-defense, you get arraigned on homicide, and it gets like dismissed as self-defense or whatever the case is. In this case, the fact that he was carrying a weapon, I don't know it's in Pennsylvania, you said. I don't know their state laws, but I've seen cases like this before, and typically the fact that he was carrying unlicensed or unlawfully doesn't affect the actual homicide part, right? Like it would still be adjudicated as self-defense or defense of others or whatever they want to call it. I don't know, like a whatever. But he would, if they decided to prosecute on carrying the weapon unlawfully, he could lose, like if he's got a concealed carry permit, he could lose that. He could lose his right to own a firearm in that state, and there's all kinds of other stuff that could happen. Despite the fact that he clearly, if there's a debate about whether or not somebody should have a gun in that building, and this happens and he saves people, that debate to me is over. He was right. He had the gun and he needed it, and he used it properly, and that's the end of the fucking story, isn't it? Like, why? I don't understand how you could prosecute somebody for that.
I don't either, man. And if anything happens to this guy, fuck everyone, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a great submission for Drinkin' Bro of the week. Shit, way to go. D'Anthony, fun show. A lot of crazy shit going on in the news, and it is definitely not going to stop. We will be here with you every single day. Subscribe to Drinkin' Bros podcast on YouTube for all of our video shows and for the audio Go to iTunes, leave us a quick review and a 5-star rating. It helps scoot us on up the charts. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Good afternoon.